Sound Productions.
Twisted Tales.
Hello, my friends. Here is 3 more horror stories for you. Make sure you're wearing dark pants, cause these 3 might give you a wet spot. Enjoy. The silence of the snow-covered landscape was only broken by the occasional howling wind. There lurked a legend as old as time itself. The indigenous people spoke of a creature, a monstrous entity born of ancient darkness and primal hunger. They called it the Wendigo. It was a frigid winter's night when a group of 4 friends embarked on a daring expedition into the depths of these unforgiving woods. Among them was Emily, a fearless adventurer with a thirst for the unknown, her brother Michael, a skeptic who preferred the comfort of civilization, Sarah, a nature enthusiast armed with her camera, and Alex, the group's self-proclaimed expert on all things supernatural. As they trekked deeper into the wilderness, the air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding settled over the group like a heavy blanket of snow. The trees seemed to whisper secrets of the ancient evil that dwelled within their shadows, and the sound of their footsteps echoed hauntingly through the silent forest. It was during a rest stop that they first felt its presence, a chill that seeped into their bones, chilling them to the core. Alex laughed nervously, dismissing their unease as mere superstition, but Emily's intuition told her otherwise. She had heard the stories of the Wendigo, tales of its insatiable hunger for human flesh, and she knew they were not alone in the wilderness. As night fell and the temperature plummeted, they huddled together around a flickering campfire, seeking warmth and comfort in each other's company. But the flames offered little solace against the encroaching darkness, and the eerie silence that enveloped them was broken only by the distant howling of wolves. Sarah shivered as she glanced into the surrounding darkness, her camera poised to capture any glimpse of movement. Suddenly, a twig snapped nearby, and the group tensed, their hearts pounding in unison. Emily gripped her hunting knife tightly, ready to defend her friends against whatever lurked in the shadows. And then they saw it. A towering figure emerging from the trees, its gaunt form swathed in tattered fur, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly hunger. The Wendigo had found them. With a blood-curdling scream, they scrambled to their feet, their instincts screaming at them to flee. But the creature was upon them in an instant, its razor-sharp claws tearing through the air like knives through butter. Michael stumbled and fell, his cries lost in the howling wind as the Wendigo descended upon him, its jaws snapping hungrily. Emily fought with all her strength, slashing at the creature with her knife, but it was like trying to battle a force of nature itself. Sarah's camera flashed desperately, capturing only blurred images of the creature's monstrous form as it closed in for the kill. In the chaos and confusion, they became separated, each fleeing blindly into the darkness, in a desperate bid for survival. Emily could hear the anguished cries of her friends echoing through the trees, driving her forward even as her legs threatened to give out beneath her. She ran until her lungs burned and her muscles screamed in protest. But still, the Wendigo pursued her relentlessly, its unearthly howls echoing through the night like a symphony of death. She stumbled and fell, her body crashing into the snow-covered ground with a sickening thud. As she lay there gasping for breath, she could feel the creature's hot breath on her neck, its foul stench filling her nostrils. With a final burst of adrenaline-fueled strength, she rolled onto her back and faced the creature head-on, her eyes blazing with defiance. But it was too late. The Wendigo loomed over her, its gaping maw inches from her face, its icy breath freezing her blood in her veins. And as its claws descended upon her, tearing her flesh asunder, Emily knew that she had stumbled into a nightmare from which there could be no awakening. And so, as the last echoes of her screams faded into the frozen wilderness, the legend of the Wendigo lived on, a cautionary tale whispered by those who dared to tread into the darkness of the northern forests, where the line between myth and reality blurred like the shifting shadows of the night.
Story 2.
Ryan and Brittany were like any other couple in their 30s, eagerly anticipating a romantic Valentine's Day dinner at their favorite town cafe. Little did they know that this seemingly innocent outing would plunge them into a nightmare beyond their wildest imaginations. As Brittany entered the quaint cafe adorned with heart-shaped decorations and the sweet scent of freshly baked goods wafting through the air, she looked at her phone, seeing Ryan's text, letting her know he was almost there and was running a bit late. She settled into their usual spot by the window, the warm glow of candlelight casting a romantic ambience over the table. Unbeknownst to them, a sinister event had unfolded the night before. A meteor had crashed into the town's water tower, contaminating the water supply with an unknown substance. The cafe, like many other establishments in town, used this water for everything from cooking and baking to brewing their signature coffees. Brittany ordered her usual cappuccino, unaware of the impending horror lurking within its murky depths. Ryan, running a bit behind schedule, arrived just in time to witness chaos erupting within the cafe. Panic-stricken patrons fled in terror, their screams echoing through the air as grotesque transformations began to take place. Brittany took a sip of her coffee, the tainted liquid coursing through her veins like a toxic elixir. Within moments, she began to feel dizzy and disoriented. As she looked up, her eyes widened in horror at the sight of not one, but 3 identical copies of herself, staring back from the cafe's mirrors. Ryan couldn't believe his eyes as people were turning into the weirdest, creepiest, grotesque creatures, and even the food was alive. What the hell is happening? He looked for Brittany, but to his horror, she was turning too, and there were more than one of her on top of it. Shit. Meanwhile, Ryan's heart pounded in his chest as he stepped into the chaos unfolding before him. His eyes darted around the room, taking in the surreal scene of animated cupcakes, buns, and various other food items coming to life in grotesque fashion. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Ryan ducked into the kitchen, seeking refuge from the nightmarish spectacle unfolding in the dining area. He frantically searched for an exit, only to find himself trapped in a labyrinth of stainless steel counters and industrial-sized appliances. Outside, the town descended into chaos as the contaminated water spread its insidious influence, turning innocent bystanders into mindless drones enslaved to its malevolent will. The once quaint cafe transformed into a nightmarish hellscape, its walls pulsating with an otherworldly energy as the creatures within grew ever more malevolent. Ryan's mind raced as he searched for a way to escape the clutches of this twisted nightmare. With every passing moment, the grotesque creatures closed in, their twisted forms contorting in unnatural ways as they hungered for his flesh. Desperation fueled his actions as he frantically searched for a way out. His heart sank as he realized the futility of his efforts, trapped like a rat in a maze with no hope of escape. But just as all hope seemed lost, a glimmer of light pierced the darkness. With a surge of adrenaline, Ryan spotted a small ventilation duct tucked away in the corner of the kitchen. Without hesitation, he squeezed through the narrow opening, his heart pounding in his chest as he crawled to freedom. Emerging into the cool night air, Ryan collapsed onto the pavement, gasping for breath as he watched the twisted silhouette of the cafe loom in the distance. The sound of distant sirens filled the air as emergency responders descended upon the scene. As Ryan looked on, he knew that this Valentine's Day would be one he would never forget, a nightmarish ordeal that would haunt him for the rest of his days. And as he missed Brittany more than ever, he realized how lucky he was to survive, and Valentine's Day would never be the same till the end of his time, and only remain a day of nightmares.
Story 3.
In the heart of New England, nestled amidst a sprawling forest, lay a small town known as Wickersham. Surrounded by dense woods that seemed to stretch endlessly in every direction, the town had its fair share of legends and folklore, but none were as chilling or as whispered about as the tales of the Pukwudgies. The Pukwudgies were said to be ancient, mischievous creatures that inhabited the deepest, darkest corners of the woods, standing no taller than a child. With twisted, gnarled features and piercing yellow eyes that glowed in the darkness, they were rumored to lure unsuspecting travelers into the depths of the forest never to be seen again. One chilly October evening, a group of adventurous teenagers from Wickersham decided to test their courage by venturing into the woods. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they set out into the looming shadows of the trees, their laughter echoing through the still night air. As they wandered deeper into the forest, the atmosphere grew increasingly eerie. The trees seemed to lean in closer, their branches clawing at the sky like skeletal fingers. Strange sounds filled the air, whispers and murmurs that seemed to come from all around them. Ignoring their growing unease, the teenagers pressed on, determined to prove their fearlessness. But as they ventured further into the woods, they stumbled upon something that made their buttholes pucker up real good. In a small clearing, illuminated by the pale light of the moon, stood a circle of ancient stones, weathered and worn with age. In the center of the circle, a flickering flame danced atop a crude altar, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance and twist in the darkness. A sense of dread washed over the teenagers as they stared at the scene before them. Something about the place felt wrong, as if they had stumbled upon a forbidden secret hidden deep within the heart of the forest. Suddenly, a chill wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing the flame and plunging them into darkness. Panic-stricken, they fumbled for their flashlights, their hands trembling as they struggled to find the switch. But before they could illuminate the darkness, they heard it. A low, guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the forest. Frozen in terror, they watched as a pair of glowing yellow eyes emerged from the shadows, fixating on them with a predatory intensity. With a sudden burst of movement, the creature lunged forward, its twisted form darting between the trees with unearthly speed. The teenagers screamed in terror as they scattered, their flashlights casting frantic beams of light through the darkness as they ran for their lives. But no matter how fast they ran, the creature was always one step ahead, its malicious laughter echoing through the woods like a haunting melody. With each passing moment, the forest seemed to warp and shift around them, the trees closing in like a suffocating embrace. One by one, the teenagers fell, overcome by exhaustion and terror. Their screams echoed through the forest, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurked within its depths. And as the last echoes of their cries faded into the night, the Pukwudgies emerged from the shadows, their twisted forms dancing with malevolent glee. For in the heart of the Whispering Woods, the legend of the Pukwudgies had claimed its latest victims, their souls forever trapped in the darkness that lurked within. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will have more 3-pack stories, so watch for those. And don't forget to subscribe if not already. And smash that like button and share anywhere and everywhere. It's much appreciated. And until next time, my friends, I will see you on the dark side. Sweet nightmares.
Subscribe.